Hi guys, so today I'm here with Afonso Vieira from BetMarkets, and if you've never bet on anything before in your life and you've got no interest in betting, then I recommend you watch this anyway because this is something special. And if you are a bettor and you're used to following tipsters, or you had your bookie account shut or anything like that, you're going to enjoy this. Hi, Alfonso. How you doing, mate?
Hi, Graham. Thanks very much for having me. All good
Good
from
stuff.
sunny Porto.
Good stuff. So could you just, for anyone who doesn't know what BetMarkets is, could you just give us a brief overview of what exactly BetMarkets is and what it does?
Mhm. So, if you have heard about eToro, we often call ourselves the Toro for sports betting. So, in other words, BetMarkets is a platform where anyone can copy automatically the bets of professional bettors. So, in three simple steps, users just need to sign up, deposit funds, and select which bettors they want to copy. After that, every time one of these bettors places a bet, that same bet is automatically placed on users' accounts.
So BetMarkets itself, is it regulated? Is it licensed?
Yes, so we are a startup, and although we are working from Portugal, we received a first gaming license from Curaçao, and we are on track to obtain licenses in both the UK and in Europe.
Great. So basically, it's a platform where you can sign up, you can choose a tipster to follow, and you click a button and it will follow that tipster and place the bets automatically on your account. But where does it place the bets?
So BetMarkets doesn't take any liability on bets. So although we operate from our gaming license and customers do only interact with BetMarkets, we call it 100% risk management. So every bet accepted by ourselves is placed in our partnering bookmakers. So we BetMarkets have corporate accounts with several operators known in the industry, and we place there at the best odds they provide us.
Now, a lot of people, myself included, have big problems with being successful at betting in that we get our accounts gubbed. I'm restricted to like £2 bets at a lot of my
Mhm.
bookmakers. Will we have that problem with you?
Not at all, because we do only partner with the operators that are known for accepting winning accounts. So, in simple terms, you can think about the exchanges. So, P2P operators that just want turnover, and some other operators that, although they are not P2P, they have very developed algorithms and trading mechanisms to accept winning accounts.
Okay, so from a user point of view, you join up and you've got a number of tipsters. How did you vet these tipsters? I mean, how do you know they're any good?
So, BetMarkets, although we just launched this May, we have been in beta since the end of 2018. And actually, BetMarket started as a free marketplace. So you could copy anyone. And what we noticed was that people would be more willing to copy their friends rather than tipsters with proven records. And so we said, okay, we'll have to make this a closed marketplace, and we'll have to have a vetting system in place. And in this regard, we conduct all sorts of statistical tests to watch out for randomness, p-value, to understand that a tipster is profitable in the long term. So that the results he obtained so far were due to skill rather than luck. And in that regard, for every better accepted within bet markets, we track closing odds. So if you are aware, the closing odds are accepted as the indicator of the true probability of an outcome. and we measure the odds taken by the bettors against the closing odds. So if a bettor is able to grab better odds than the closing odds, taking maximizing the inefficiency of the market, it's a good indicator to accept this better.
So does everyone get like the same odds? Because I know, like, if you're betting in something that's low liquidity in normal places on bookies or exchanges, having too many people following a single tipster actually moves the market. Would you have that problem, or do you have a lot of liquidity?
We have. I can answer that in several ways. So, first of all, we have the highest liquidity available from winning acceptable bookmakers. So if you are long-term profitable, we have all the liquidity available. And in that regard, our software, as you as a copier take the same odds from a bettor. So if you and me copy the same bettor, if it was manual, you could take the bet first than me, and I would have lower odds. At BetMarkets, that doesn't happen because bets are taken just once and for all bettors, and that provides another benefit. That is, we just need to hit the market once. We don't need to hit the market in a greater fragmented number because we just place one bet for all.
So what's the fees involved? Like, how is there a subscription or what? How does it work?
BetMarkets is free to use. So I can introduce here the story behind BetMarkets. So prior to BetMarkets, I run a friends fund that copy tipsters. So I gather money from friends, and we all decided which tipsters we want to copy and place the bets manually. That was a great experience, and we tried to come up with a software. And as there was no one, we said, okay, we need to build BetMarkets. So BetMarkets was built for us as users and is now available to anyone. This to say that BetMarkets is free to use because it doesn't make sense for such a platform to charge a fixed fee, because that's what we are going after. We are trying to allow anyone to invest or copy professional bettors in a fair way. And in that regard, we as platform need to cater and be interested that our users are profitable. So our revenue comes from profits. And in this regard, as a user, you only pay one fee. That is a 20% share of profits at the end of every calendar quarter to the bettors. And from these 20, 5 go to BetMarkets, 15 go to the bettors. On the other side, we have a second revenue source. That is, as we forward all bets to our partnering operators, we take a turnover fee from this, like an affiliation fee. And that's the two fees that there are at BetMarkets.
So basically, it's in your interest for your subscribers or your users to make a profit, because if they're not making a profit, you don't make a profit either.
Exactly. And the best example I can give is that when tipsters have very, very good or above the average runs, so let's say a tipster wins 10 straight bets, this is uncommon, but when this happens, we have a surge in the referrals because people get crazy and start speaking with their friends. And yes, so we know that if we want to build a sustainable business, a business that makes sense, we need to put our users' priorities above all.
What I noticed when I joined up myself is that you recommend a portfolio. Now, when I looked, it was like 30 odd tipsters, but you recommend choosing a portfolio rather than following just the best one at that time. What's the thinking behind that?
The thinking behind that goes back to the first version of BetMarkets. So within the first version of BetMarkets, there was no recommendation nor limit. And what we saw was that everyone just copied the best. And even the best tipsters have drawdowns. And okay, the best tipster, if the best tipster goes through a minus 30% drawdown, every single user will be mad, will lose it all, and it really doesn't make sense. Other than that, a portfolio of just one tipster is a very risky approach. So you can think of investing in the stock market and buying just Facebook stock. It doesn't make sense. You must diversify your portfolio.
So is it forced that you have to have a minimum number?
It is not forced, but we severely encourage to diversify.
That makes sense. It's interesting actually that you mentioned like choosing stocks on the stock market, because this seems to me very much like it's what I like. I mean, the people that know me know that I like a passive income. I don't like particularly active investments. So with this, you can literally put your money in, choose your tipsters, and leave it to run. But it seems almost like a new asset class for investors. So somebody who's never had any interest in betting or gambling per se could use this as another. I mean, because let's face it, investment is gambling anyway. So whether they're choosing stocks or cryptocurrencies or football bets, it's all a gamble in a way. So do you see this as attracting like people that don't come from the gambling sphere?
So I will answer that question in two. The first is, and the best example, like we are going through COVID and pandemic, and the economy is very volatile at the moment, and we don't know if we are entering into a crisis next year, for instance. And sports betting is a uncorrelated asset. So it doesn't matter if the economy goes up or down, the returns of a tipster are unaffected. And to diversify an investment portfolio, that is a big key, because it provides steadiness. So it provides, the momentum is not affected by the current economy. And we split our personas in two. So we both have users that log into BetMarkets every single day. I won't say every single hour, but it could be, because they want to follow the progress of the matches where they have bets. So for instance, today is Friday, there will be Man United against Liverpool this evening, and they want to see for which club they should cheer. This is one persona. And the second one is traditional investors. So people that, okay, this is an investment, I want returns, and let's see what happens. And in that regard, we are all good, and we are seeing users coming to their accounts like once per month, for instance. That makes sense, yes.
Yeah, I like that. So anyone who is a gambler and likes to have a punt and enjoys watching the games can still take advantage of this. Whereas somebody like me who's no interest really and just wants the ROI uses it their way too. Talking of ROI, I know you can't give ROIs anyway, but historically, how have the tipsters performed? I mean, what kind of figure could people realistically consider would be something worth achieving?
That is a tricky question, because it's up to you to build your own portfolio, and thus the risk return is very dependent on that. The range is significant. What we as companies say is that if you build a diversified portfolio, let's say 10, 20 tipsters, we want to deliver you a higher return than the S&P 500 with less volatility. So this is our long-term goal.
And that's amazing. If you can do that, that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you started. Did you say you started in April or May this year?
We launched this May, yes.
So just when lockdown started and all the sports stopped, you launched.
Exactly. It was a very funny story. So I can give you some details very quickly. We were almost 2 years doing due diligence to get licensing and so on. And when everything was ready and we had planned to launch BetMarkets on a Monday in March, the pandemic left China and all sports events were suspended. And we said, okay, well, what's now? And yeah, so some tweaking here and there, and we launched 2 months after in May with just 3 esports bettors. So esports was the only sport that moved entirely online. They kept playing tournaments, and we said, okay, let's start with just 3 esports bettors. There were already some signals that Germany football was about to resume, and we said, okay, let's just go with these sports, and then more sports will come. And fortunately, today every sport is active.
So how has it been going for BetMarkets? Have you been growing reasonably quickly?
Yes, more or quicker than we expected. So, with just 6 months in, we have already received more than 650,000 euros in deposits from customers, and they have already wagered more than 3 million euros. And to put things into perspective, BetMarkets became the fastest P2P operator to achieve 1 million euros in monthly turnover, and that is quite significant.
That's really good. Are there any people that can't use BetMarkets, like from specific countries or jurisdictions?
Yes, BetMarkets is currently not available for American customers and France and Netherlands.
Okay, but you deposit in euros, so you do a bank transfer or some other way?
Yes, there are several for deposit and withdrawal. Yes, at the moment, accounts are only in euros. We have plans to enable accounts in pounds very soon.
What's the future for BetMarkets? Where do you want to be in, say, 12 months' time?
Uh, there's a lot to do. We started with markets saying that sports betting can be an investment, and that's our long-term goal. But we also want to bring fairness and transparency into sports betting, because within the society, sports betting has a very bad connotation. And we believe that we can have a significant impact on that, on making it fairer and more transparent.
One final question. What is, apart from the obvious betting risk, is there any risk in people depositing funds into BetMarkets? Like, is it guaranteed by any regulatory body?
Yeah, so we started with markets, and as I said, envisioning a financial platform, but we were unable to apply for a financial license. Like, we spoke with the financial authorities in Europe, and they all said, okay, you cannot apply for a financial license within the current regulation because you are a gaming product. And unfortunately, gaming products do not offer that safety. So we can only say that we follow the EU regulations that are to keep customers' funds in segregated accounts. So even if BetMarkets goes bankrupt, funds cannot be used for operational purposes and are there to be returned to users.
That's amazing. Alfonso, I think that's pretty much answered all the questions I've got. What I will ask is, if any of you got any questions that I haven't covered, just drop them in the comment section below on YouTube, and I'll see if I can get them answered, or just contact Alfonso himself. You're pretty good on support, I've noticed. You answer questions rapidly.
Yes, so it has been our focus because you have no idea about the insights we gathered from being very communicative. So we just launched version 2.0 of BitMarkets upon, let's say, thousands of emails exchanged with users, and that really eases the process for us. It's the best we can do.
That's amazing. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm going to deposit some funds into BetMarkets this week. I'll record a video on how I'm doing that, and I'll have a look and see how I get on. So, Afonso, thanks very much for taking the time out to speak with us.
Thank you very much, Graham. It was a big pleasure.